Well, I'm Bob Tasca III, driver of the Motorcraft Quick Lane. Nitro, Mustang, Shelby, funny car. See that?
Yeah, you got it all for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I touched base with one of your longtime employees just 2 days ago,
Sure.
right? And I asked him, I said, are you guys okay as a team? You know,
Yeah.
because I've seen the struggles, or what appear to be
Yeah.
struggles this year. He simply smiled at me and said, wait until you see what you're about to see. So, how are you going to do? How do these next 7 events look for you, including this weekend?
Well, yeah, listen, we as a team came out of the gate very strong, qualifying in the top 5. Top 5 at many of the events, second twice on the pole in Bristol. So the car showed great promise. Struggled on Saturday pretty much all season as the tracks got warmer. As the tune-up evolved, we had to put some new clutch discs in, which really magnified the problems on hot weather tracks. We just very inconsistent. Car would run great when it ran great. To the average fan, they'd be like, well, why didn't you set the car up like you did on Q1?
Right.
Well, we did, and the car would go out and smoke the tires at the hit. So, certainly not the season that we were expecting to have to this point. But I'm probably as confident now as I've ever been before, because when you look back, we won races with a team that couldn't hold a candle to the team that I have today.
Right.
You just shrug your shoulders and say, yeah, that car won, but I don't know, it just was our day.
Right.
We got a stronger brain trust as I've ever had with Dickie Venables, Chris, and Mark working together. We got a team, just a group of crew guys that I probably feel bad for because, we haven't performed good enough for them. They've done a tremendous job putting the car together and giving us a consistent car from their perspective. We went into the West Coast basically on that tilting point. We're 6th in the points. We could have easily been in, 5th as we could have been in 11th. We were right on that cusp. And we got behind the 8 ball in Denver. We had some fuel pump issues on Friday. Set us way behind for Saturday. Made a great run Sunday. We ran Cruz. It showed a whole shot loss, but truth be told, Cruz just ran lights out. He was deep, I was shallow.
Okay.
He would have gone out and beat anybody else on the property.
Okay.
And we would have beat anyone else on the property except him. So that's just the way the chips fell. Sonoma, we broke an input shaft in the first elimination round, which never breaks. We were very, very fortunate that the safety technology around my ankles worked.
Oh, great.
It's the same incident that happened to Dale Creasy, who pretty much lost from his calf down in a similar incident. So it's a catastrophic issue. When that happens, it wipes out your whole clutch program. So I've described it to people that we had an unbelievable car going into Norwalk. We were right where we wanted to be in the points. We had a tough Denver, a catastrophe in Seattle. In Sonoma, we start Seattle with a whole new clutch program. When an input shaft breaks, it takes out your pressure plate, your cannon, it takes out everything.
Okay.
So we had to start from scratch in Seattle, and truthfully, the frustrations mounted. We got that first round win against Neff and smoked the tires in the second round, totally unpredicted. So we pretty much are where we are. Nothing we can do about that. But the team and the race car, I get all the confidence in the world in. We came out here yesterday, run 410 at 303, dropping the cylinder at 3.5. So, hey, listen, a lot of people would be reeling right now. I'm not. This is racing. Unfortunately, if it was easy, everybody would be winning. John Force would have the best car in his camp. So these are just, this is the sport that we've dedicated our lives to. You can't look back. You can only look forward. I believe in the group of people that I have around me. We have the best parts money can buy with these Ford engines and chassis and bodies. So it's only a matter of time. That's why I don't lose sleep at night. Okay. It's only a matter of time. At the end of the day, I told my guys coming in to this weekend, I said, remember one thing, they have to pass us. We don't have to pass anybody. And the pressure's on them to come around us. We wanted to increase the pressure on them by out-qualifying them. That was important for us to put some points on Hagan to make him have to go 2 rounds, him and Wilkerson. And so far we've done that. We have to maintain that depending on what the weather does.
Right.
And then put ourselves in a position to win a championship because, I told my team sitting right in this room, you got to remember something. I was here when Robert Height was 12 coming into Indy and won the championship.
Yes.
Everyone saw what Tony Stewart did last year, right? He had a point of his season where, he getting into the shootout really wasn't even top of mind.
Right.
How lost he was.
Right.
And then he comes back and wins the championship. So this sport is very streaky. I say this with a smirk on my face. We haven't peaked yet this season by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, we certainly haven't got that run this season that we were hoping to have at some point. So I said to my guys, no problem. Let's get that run in the next 6 races and take home a championship. So I have all the confidence in the world. We just got to go out and do it on Sunday. We've done everything this season but win. We've been number 1 qualifier, top 5 multiple times. We racked up more qualifying points at more races than a lot of teams have. We just haven't put it together on Sunday. And when that happens, as far as I'm concerned, we got as good a chance to go out and win in the next 3 races as any car out here.
Well, let me say it this way, okay? Because the individual I talked to said, Stan, it's kind of like the way he described it, not his exact words. It's kind of like we were on a cliff, but now that we're on a part of the mountain that we know we can go fast, we can climb fast. He says we've cleaned out a lot of the problems that were hindering us, and we think that now we're the best out here. We're pretty much the best out here.
I feel very confident in what you just said. Bringing Dickie in, it's not instant pudding.
Right.
He has philosophies that he believed in from the Schumacher days and from the Force days that has evolved. And you plug him into this program. I at first was a little apprehensive to see how the chemistry would work, and I'm probably more confident now that we've been on the mat and kind of, people counting us out, that the chemistry is strong, because if it wasn't, there'd be a lot of issues.
Right.
And this to me has kind of solidified that, this is the team that I want together. Because if you want the flavor of the week and jump from here to there, it ain't about that. These race teams, you got to live through the bad as much as you live through the good. And I think living through the tough parts, I think solidifies you as a team.
Yes.
And trust me, ain't nobody out there high-fiving. There's nobody thrilled with the performance that we've done.
Right.
But it makes you dig deeper. And that which doesn't break you makes you stronger. And I really believe that our team has been battle tested. We have something to prove, not just for the world, but to ourselves. That this is a group of people that can come together and go out with their backs against the wall and win. And no better time than this weekend.
Sure.
I mean, we need to be in the top 10 to compete for a championship.
Yes.
And we're in a position to do that. We control our own destiny. And it's just a matter of continuing to put ourselves in a position to win. And hey, luck plays a bigger role in this deal than most people want to admit. You got to be. Force always said, "I'd rather be lucky than good some days." And we haven't had that luck when we needed it, and that's just the way it's been. But like anything else, luck comes and goes.
Right.
And when it comes for us, I think we'll have it a little longer than most, because we haven't had much of it yet this season. I said to Forrest yesterday, a few days ago, I said, John, I think I could live 6 lifetimes and not have happened to me what happened to you and Brainerd. You red light, the race is over, you've lost, and then the person next to you crosses the center line. I mean, and you're back in. So I think that's the opposite of what's happened to me this season. But I ain't worried about luck. I ain't worried about anything other than putting ourselves in a position to win. So if luck comes upon us, we're in a position to take advantage of it, and that's the only thing we can control. We did make some wholesale changes in Brainerd. We made some wholesale disc changes coming into the test session here, because when the car, what frustrated us is when the car goes out and runs good, and the conditions are similar, and you change nothing. I mean, nothing. And it smokes the tires at the hit.
Yeah.
I mean, we look stupid. I mean, to be quite frank with you. And, and I have people come up to me who don't even know about drag racing. They say, Bob, I got an uncle. I think he's 80 years old. He says, Bob, I watch you every Sunday. Why do you set the car up to do that? And I just smile because trust me, we ain't setting the car up to do that. And we got people that are on this team, with Dickey and Cunningham and Denner. I mean, these are experienced people.
Yes.
We have a lot of years. I'm not going to say that our brain trust is stronger than Schumacher or Force, but I got the best brain trust I've ever had running a funny car. And it won't take them long to sink their teeth into it, trust me. And when they do sink their teeth into it and we get in that box, we call it, we're going to be in there a long time. So I feel very, very, very confident that this weekend is be a great turning point for us. We're happy with the data we learned in the test session and set ourselves up for the run because, something, really don't make a difference what the first half of the season looks like.
Right.
You get into the top 10, the points reset, let's go after it now. So that's our mindset, and we do control our own destiny, and we'll see what the next run brings.
Okay, I got 3 quick questions. As long as he doesn't answer.
We have to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If it's really, are they really one word? Because we're already late.
Okay.
5 minutes?
Yeah, it could be. Yes.
We
You
can find
just
it.
don't answer me real deep,
Yeah.
okay? Yesterday, the weather constantly changes. And other drivers have said to me, "Hey, as a driver, you don't think about it. But it is tremendous amount of pressure on the crew."
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Well, I think you do feel a little bit of the pressure because as a driver, you know that you might not get another shot to run, and you got to do everything perfect. So I think the pressure is seen across everybody, not just the crews.
Okay. One other question. I'll stick it to one.
Yeah.
Okay. I interviewed John Force yesterday, and I asked him which was more important: the wins by his 2 daughters that have been in funny cars so far, or 15 championships. My question to you is, despite everything you do over the next 15 or 16 years, right? If your boys come into drag racing, will what they do be more important than you've ever done?
Yeah, I would say for sure. I mean, for me, it's all about my family. I mean, I'm here in large part to maybe, lay the foundation for what they could do in the future. So if the good Lord wanted my kids to drive, and that's the way that it came out, there would be no greater pride in any father or parent's eyes than to see their children successful.